And last but not least, to close out this mini series of the best positions in 2K from worst to best, coming in at number 1 is the center position. Now, ooh, it's gonna be some feelings displayed in this one here. The community is gonna really show itself here because they just cannot believe I had the audacity to put a center position at number 1 over the point guard position. Biased? Maybe a little bit of bias, given that I'm a fellow center myself, but there's good reason for it. Most people, when they think of centers, all-time great centers, the Wilts, the Akeems, the Shaqs. When you think of center, you think to like a back-to-basket, most dominant guy. Most people make Shaq. I mean, let's just be real. When most people make centers, they make Shaqs. Shaq is not one of the best centers in this game. His play style does not benefit this game as well. Granted, it is a plus that basically drop, step, and score at will every time in the paint, especially when he's playing a bum, undersized guy, you know. In comp games, that type of center really gets negated. When you're playing higher level competition in 2K, the 7-3 post scoring, drop stepping to the baseline center who's gonna pump fake 2 times, 3 times, and then go straight up, that play style does not work because you're gonna be playing somebody who is much better, who won't jump, or you're not bigger than he is, and then you're just trying to abuse the game with its terrible paint defense and just sit here and pump fake 8 times in the paint and then shoot a 37% contested hook shot or layup and it goes into the basket. The style that fits this game perfectly, and this is why I have the center position at number 1, is because if you can run into a center that rebounds and plays defense, playmate and outlet, if he can do that right alone, your chances of winning have skyrocketed. A dominant big in 2K takes your win percentage. If you're in like a 70% win, that win percentage goes up to about 90%. He is just a decent big. But to really take the win percentage to 95% is if you have a center that does all of that I just stated and he has a jump shot. Oh my God. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know when y'all in the game. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all been there. If y'all played as much 2K as I played, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm talking about that guy, that center, that not only sets screens, timely screens, that gets his point guard open, or he sets a screen so good that it forces you as the defensive center to step up. Then he rolls to the basket. And then not only does he roll to the basket, he's not rolling to necessarily score. He's rolling just to force the defense to collapse on him. And then he kicks it to the corner guy for 3. Then you get the ball in the paint and you pump fake and he don't jump. You pump fake and he don't jump. You go up, he jumps and he blocks you. You got that center that has the nerve to stand in the corner. He stands in there the whole entire game. I became that center. I became the center that can play defense, that can play make, and on offense, I have completely sold out now. I don't even try to be a paint center anymore. Paint defense in this game is broken when I try to defend the paint, and it is overpowered when I'm in the paint. So I've just decided I'm just going to shoot. I got a stretch big. I don't even go in the paint. I don't even look at the paint. All I do is I stand at the 3-point line. And to make it worse, I don't even stand in the corner. You see, this is a 2K tip here. You're standing in the corner as a big guy. That allows your defender to be closest to the rim. You play 2K. You see these player models in this game. That center will be able to guard that in the paint and still be able to contest your jump shot. So you know what you do? You go stand on the wing. Now you stand on the wing. He has to make a choice. Either he's going to sell out on you or he's going to protect the rim. And he's a big man, so his instinct is to protect the rim. And then, that's when you get the little funny defensive styles. They're going to start playing where they're going to just let you get by. They're going to let the point guard get by, and then the point guard going to try to guard you or whatever. And then that's when you just go and walk yourself down into the paint with the point guard on you. I mean, it's a very simple tactic. We done ran through the list of positions. And I know most people would think, a point guard is the most dominant and the best position to make. Nah, you can stop a point guard. No matter how cheesy or scumbag tactics that point guard uses, you can stop him. You can contain him. You go to his zone. You can just flat out double him. You can force him to become a passer. Most point guards who average 40, they don't like to pass. If you force them to pass, they're going to lose. 8 out of 10 times they will lose the game because they are not programmed or positioned to pass the ball. They are programmed to score 40. You're making them get 15 assists, 10 points, 15 points, 20 points, because you're just selling out. Their team ain't even going to be used to that. Their team ain't used to shooting as many shots as you about to let them shoot. But like I said, the reason why a dominant big is so important is because you have to adjust to him. He controls the pace of the game. Players should focus on making his players like Karl Anthony Towns or even maybe a Brook Lopez. Now, granted, these aren't legendary names. These aren't your Shaquille O'Neal and David Robinson, but they're centers that work in 2K though. Like Karl Anthony Towns, for instance. He just won a 3-point contest. He's essentially a guard, but he's 7 foot. So he's a big. So he has all the advantages of being a big while still being a guard. How do you guard a big man in this game? Some say, oh, you go to zone. Some say, oh, he just gonna have to make that. What you gonna do if your center actually make it? What's the game plan? You see, like I said, with point guards, that's why they came in at number 2. With point guards, you can zone a point guard. You can trap a point guard. You can double a point guard. A center, what can you do? If the biggest person on your team does not want to leave the paint, or the biggest person on your team cannot guard the biggest person on their team, what is your adjustment? You gonna put the power forward on him? If your power forward is 3 inches shorter than the current center that he's guarding, well then that's when Mouse in the House comes in and play. Oh well, we're just gonna play a zone. Well, what if the center is the one that stands in the zone and he has the strap? A lot of teams out there play a lot of 2-3 zone against me. Little do they know, I enjoy a free throw line jump shot. I enjoy it. So when you're giving it up to me and you're giving up that free throw line jumper, I green 1 shot. Then I green 2 shots. Now I'm greening 3 shots. And you know what happens after the 3rd green? The defense has to adjust now. Now the zone cannot stop me. I'm forcing you to play man defense. I'm forcing you to play man zone because somebody's going to have to respect that foul line jumper. And then when they respect it, usually 9 times out of 10, one of the corner guys in the 2-3 zone step over to the foul line. One of the wings, the 2 at the top, one of them drop to the foul line and just stay in front of me. Or the center comes all the way up and guards the foul line. And then when you see that, that's when you just tell the move. Have somebody move. When somebody moves, guess what's going to happen? You're going to have to rotate. Guess who's open again? So yes, centers, if you really want to dominate a game, we see these randoms now. These season 8, I thought season 7 randoms were bad. These season 8 ones are beyond all measures. We are in the end game, the final time. If you could make it to 40 in these seasons, you are a 2K warrior because you are playing with Game Pass Garys. You're playing with PlayStation Plus Peters. These people are playing for free. They spent $50. They got their player up to 85 and they walking straight into the wreck. No career, no nothing. They just out there intoxicating the community with more toxicity like ever before. It's ridiculous now. But if you want to overcome all of that, overcome the scumbag point guard on your team, the space fillers between the 2 and the 4, make a center. Learn how to play center and watch how you control the game. Now, nobody's going to ever give you credit. Nobody and that's the downside of playing a center. People are not going to give you credit. They're not going to say we got a big dog down there, that's why we be winning. Because a lot of times your impact and your stats aren't going to show that you have ran that game. But if you play basketball, you know if you ran that game, if you controlled that game without having any stats. Say for instance, if you finish a game as a center with 0 points, 6 points, 17 rebounds, 11 assists, 6 blocks, 5 steals. To an outsider, they're going to look at you and say, you ain't doing nothing. Granted, the stats look crazy. The stats are crazy, but they're going to look at the context of it. Oh, you only got them 11 assists because you leaked out. Oh, you only got them 6 blocks because such and such kept going to the paint trying to dunk. You were playing a slasher. Oh, you only got them 4 steals because we were trying to throw a lob. But then they don't look at the rebound. I have 17 boards. And most times, you ain't going to have all 17 defensive rebounds. So maybe you might have 17 boards with 7 offensive rebounds. You have now gave your team a possession, 7 more possessions than they were already slated in the game. You have gave your team almost 17 possession. 17 times 3 is what, y'all? Do the math in your head. Because you know 9 times out of 10, but everybody shoot 3s in this game. So do the math in your head. Blah, blah, blah. 17 times 3. Blah, blah, blah. I think it's 51. 51 points is accounted for by you. Came straight from you. And this is just off of the rebounds, blocks, and steals alone. That's it. 51 points have come for you, possibly. So next time somebody tells you, oh, how do you dominate a game? What's the best way to dominate a game? How to be the most dominant 2K player ever? I'm going to tell you, you make a center. And you just sit there and you learn how to play the game and watch how everybody else around you reacts off of you. You control the game at center, and that's why that falls in at number 1 as the best position to make in this game.